Ephraim and Manasseh, the lost legacy of the blessed sons. Before there was a kingdom, before there were priests or prophets or psalms, there was a family, a broken, blessed, scandalous, sanctified family. One patriarch, 12 sons, a God who doesn't always follow the rules of man. This is the story of two boys born in exile, born from a dreamer, named from pain, blessed by a dying prophet, chosen, then forgotten. This is the rise and ruin of Ephraim. This is the quiet testimony of Manasseh. And this is the paradox of divine favor. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Before we ever get to Joseph or his sons, we must begin with Jacob, a man not known for honesty, but for hunger. The second son, always reaching, first for the heel of his brother Esau, then for his birthright, then for his father's blessing. Jacob was a man who wrestled, first with men, then with God himself. And in that famous night at the river Jabbok, Jacob earned a limp, a new name, and a place in history. He became Israel, the one who wrestles with God. But Jacob's journey was not just external, it was spiritual, a progression from schemer to seeker, from trickster to patriarch. He built altars, he made vows, he lost the love of his life, Rachel, and yet he held on to God. He was a man who limped into destiny. Joseph, the dreamer and prophet. From Jacob came Joseph, his beloved son by Rachel, the dreamer. Unlike his brothers, Joseph didn't just inherit the legacy. He saw visions, dreams of grain bowing, stars kneeling, and dreams that cost him everything. Sold, betrayed, accused, imprisoned. And yet the hand of God never left him. In Potiphar's house he ruled. In the dungeon he interpreted. In Pharaoh's palace, he became the wisdom of God incarnate. But the greatest miracle? Joseph didn't lose his faith in the God of his fathers. Even in Egypt, a land of idols, power, and sensuality, Joseph walked with God, and God honored him. He gave him a wife, yes, but more than that, he gave him legacy. Manasseh and Ephraim, born in exile in Egypt, Joseph had two sons, and in naming them, he didn't just speak as a father, he spoke as a prophet. Manasseh, for God has made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. Ephraim, for God has made me fruitful in the land of my affliction. Pause there. Let the names speak. Manasseh represents healing from the past. Ephraim represents fruitfulness in the future. One is tied to memory, the other to multiplication. This wasn't just poetic, it was prophetic. Joseph's sons weren't just replacements for lost years. They were a new foundation for the nation of Israel in exile. The blessing, a divine reversal. As Jacob nears death, Joseph brings the boys to him. Manasseh stands at Jacob's right hand, the place of strength, Ephraim at the left. Joseph had arranged it intentionally, but Jacob, now old, now blind, crosses his arms, and he speaks a word not from tradition, but from revelation. He too will be great, Jacob says of Manasseh, but his younger brother shall be greater than he. Jacob knew something Joseph didn't, that God doesn't always choose the firstborn. He bypassed Esau, he chose Isaac over Ishmael, and now he was choosing Ephraim over Manasseh. Why? Because favor isn't about order, it's about destiny. Ephraim's rise to power, fast forward, generations later. Ephraim becomes dominant in Israel. Joshua, the conqueror of Canaan, is from Ephraim. The Ark of the Covenant dwells in Shiloh, in Ephraim's land. For a season, Ephraim stands as the spiritual and political center of Israel. The tribe had promise, position, prophecy, but slowly, something shifts. They forget. Pride replaces reverence. Power replaces presence. They become entitled, and entitlement is the graveyard of favor. The fall of the favored, the prophets begin to cry out, Hosea 4:17. Ephraim is joined to idols, let him alone. Hosea 7:8. Ephraim mixes with the nations. He is like a flat cake not turned over. Ephraim was still in the land, still leading, but spiritually, they were burnt on one side and raw on the other. Half-baked leadership, rotten worship, rebellious hearts, and so the hammer falls. Psalm 78:67. Then he rejected the tent of Joseph. He did not choose the tribe of Ephraim, but chose the tribe of Judah, Mount Zion, which he loved. From Ephraim to Judah, from Shiloh to Zion, from Joshua to David, the favor shifts. Manasseh's quiet redemption, and Manasseh, quiet, hidden, yet faithful. Generations later, from Manasseh's line comes a young king, Hezekiah, a reformer, a worshiper, a warrior of the Spirit. Sometimes the one overlooked by men is still being watched by God. Why Ephraim? Why not forever? So why did God choose Ephraim in the first place? Because God sees potential before performance. He calls greatness out of obscurity. Ephraim was a statement. Your origin doesn't disqualify your destiny. But why did God reject Ephraim? Because favor that is not honored becomes a curse. Because the platform God gives is not for pride, but for purpose. Because the weight of glory crushes those not rooted in obedience. Closing reflections. In the end, Ephraim and Manasseh are not just tribes, they are symbols. One chosen early, but fell. One quiet, but endured. They are the paradox of favor and faithfulness. Which are you? Are you living on the fumes of past prophecy, or building a future in quiet faith? Are you Ephraim, blessed but drifting, or Manasseh, forgotten by man but remembered by God? Before you go, if this story stirred something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more powerful Bible stories, affirmations, and spiritual encouragement, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of grace. We're Biblical Paradox, and we are all about telling the good stories that inspire faith.